It's official, Liverpool fans. Florian Wirtz is a red. He'll be playing at Anfield next season. A British record transfer fee for a player. 116 million pounds rising with add-ons is what the total package is, if I'm not mistaken. Regardless, a lot of money, a lot of talent, a lot of hype around Florian Wirtz, and rightfully so. He is quite an interesting player to watch. He's quite an effective player to watch. He has it all, it seems. He could score, he could assist, he can create the pass that leads to an assist. He could just open up and unlock defenses in a way that we've been missing since probably Felipe Coutinho. That's who he reminds me of the most, like a mix between Coutinho and Firmino. But the biggest question for me is, where does Liverpool go from here? And I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. What's the right move for Liverpool to make to get the most out of Florian Wirtz? Because as we know, Arne Slot didn't make many transfers last summer. Chiesa was really the only one, and that didn't really work out the best. He didn't get a ton of playing time. Mamardashvili is in as well. But there's some rumors, some rumblings as to what the next steps are for Liverpool, and I'm all for it. We'll start with the most likely of the two, and that is Marc Guehi. Marc Guehi just started getting linked yesterday to Liverpool. Jarell Quansah very quickly made a switch to Bayer Leverkusen in the last couple of days for around 30 million, rising to 35 with add-ons. Great deal for a player who I think has a lot of potential, but is maybe not on that same track of, progression as the rest of the Liverpool squad. I could see a reality in which, there's, how do I say this? Just like a total, not exodus, but like a lot of people leaving. Arne Slot has replaced a lot of players season on season at Feyenoord and I believe at AZ Alkmaar. Before that, he's known for this. He's known for, shuffling through a lot. But in terms of Marc Guehi, he's been on the short list for months and is appreciated by Liverpool as well as many more Premier League clubs. And Diamande could be his replacement at Palace. Diamande is the Sporting Lisbon center back who's linked to replace Guehi should he join Liverpool. And apparently Palace have started inquiring, to my knowledge. So this deal could happen really realistically. One that's maybe not so realistic, according to Fabrizio, about, now like 6 hours ago, he said Liverpool would try to go for Isak if he became available. But at the moment, I don't have this feeling. The club, too, from what I'm hearing, see it as a very, very difficult deal. There's been a lot of rumors around Isak, Ben Jacobs writing about it, Fabrizio giving his comments. So I'm just going to dive into this little formation thing to discuss what I think most likely is going to happen here at Liverpool. Isak is valued in excess of 100, 120, 130 million. He's got 3 years left on his deal, so they don't have to sell this summer outright. I think the smarter move really for Newcastle is to sell him next summer. Sure, you might not get 100 mil for him. You still might, but it's less likely that you get 100 mil for Isak next summer. Still a chance. Still a chance that Liverpool has that need. Still a chance that maybe someone like Chelsea comes knocking and is like, hey, we want to upgrade. Or maybe Arsenal finds the funds. Or say Barca needs it and they can accrue some money, which we know how Barca is with finances. But this is the current visualization that I have for Liverpool. I'll show you the bench as well to show you where my head's at. But currently, I don't think the starting 11 changes too drastically, bar, I guess, this left channel where Wirtz will start and up top with Osimhen. So at the back, Alisson, I think he'll be the starting goalie for the season. Mamardashvili will challenge him for sure, but I don't know if he'll be dethroning Alisson Becker anytime soon. Just because Alisson, he's got a year left with a year extension, so he can extend at the end of this season, but it's on the team to extend him if they choose. So either way, I think the reality of the situation is they're going to give Alisson another go this season. If he continues on without he's playing, they extend him and then either look at selling or they look at keeping him until his contract expires and then just having Mamardashvili fill in those boots. But I imagine Mama will fit in to the cup games, to some of the Champions League games. He'll be rotating with Allison quite a bit because Allison does occasionally get injured. Uh, at the back, ignore the kit numbers just because I put random numbers for everyone. But we have Frimpong, who I think will start, Konate, Van Dijk, and Kerkez. Kerkez is all but done. That deal is basically going through, to my knowledge, around 40 million for Kerkez. I think he's a great player. I think he fits into Liverpool's system. And when you look at, the additions, and this maybe isn't how we end up lining up. The midfield I kept the same as Gravenberch, McAllister, and Szoboszlai, but there's a chance that Wirtz starts here in the middle. Szoboszlai gets dropped, and you have Gakpo or Diaz on the left. But Osimhen, I'm putting in here because I think he's the more likely of the two strikers to get signed between him and Isak. Liverpool need a striker. If we go here to the squad, I'm just going to get rid of Nunez and Jota because, quite frankly, I could see them both getting sold. Jota, as a player, I think would be the more valuable to hold on to because he offers something different that not many forwards can really muster up. He's decent in the air. He's a fox in the box. He can finish most of his chances that are, put on a platter for him. He's just very injury prone. So I still think that both Nunez and Jota are probably on their way out. I wouldn't mind seeing either of them continue on from this season onward. It's just more of a question of, is Arne Slot comfortable with that? And is that what he wants? On the bench, though, we have Mamadashvili. We have Davies, Gomez, Guehi, Tsimikas, Robertson, who I haven't removed, but he might leave. There's the rumors to Atletico Madrid. Bradley, Endo, Jones, Harvey, who I also see leaving. So let's just remove Harvey. Let's also remove Isak just for the sake of this discussion. That leaves us with, 5, 10, 13 24 players really in this squad without adding, Morton's there, but there's no Bajcetic. There's no Doak. We don't know what's going to happen with Ben Doak. But in terms of just visualizing this is really how I see Liverpool kind of entering the season. Somebody at the level of Victor Osimhen. Now, is that Osimhen? Is it Gyökeres? Is it Šeško? Is it Isak? Is it Alvarez? Who is it? But one of these guys, you might even see Diaz starting through the middle. And then I could see, as we're in possession, something like this where Salah tucks in, Wirtz tucks in, Gravenberch drops deeper to form a back three with these guys, and you see Kerkez and Frimpong barging forward in some kind of formation or kind of lineup like this. Diaz can maybe even drop deeper, have Salah and Wirtz go forward, and then really, as it all kind of progresses, you're looking at a 3-2-5 of some kind with the forwards. Now, Diaz could be Gakpo, could be, if Jota stays, Jota, it could be Osimhen or Isak, whoever signs at the 9. But I'm already kind of seeing what Liverpool's trying to bring here in terms of, the play style moving forward. As I could really see it kind of progressing into a very fluid starting 11 in terms of, you're getting the attack from both fullbacks. You got Wirtz, who's operating on that left channel, creating a ton. You have Diaz, or any striker for that matter, kind of dropping in to allow for Wirtz and Salah to basically turn into some kind of form of an inside forward. It's interesting. It's definitely interesting. My thoughts beyond that are that if you have somebody like, say Konate, say they end up selling him or whatever this summer, because there's a possibility that does happen, you could just put Marc Guehi in there. And if Marc Guehi is starting, I'm still pretty comfortable with this back three of Guehi, Gravenberch, and Van Dijk. So it's not perfect yet, the Liverpool lineup. It's quite a ways away, I would say. But I think if you kind of take anything from this video, it'll be that Liverpool are moving really, really, really smart, I think. I think that what they're doing is really just going to be more cause for them to dominate next season. More reason for them to perform at like a high level. Maybe we get more games where they just absolutely outscore sides like crazy. But even with the super forward nature of this kind of, I guess, fullback partnership, I think there's room here. I think there's potential room for some kind of defensive structure that is still solid, even without Konate, if he decides to go or if he ends up being sold. But I just kind of want to come in, talk about where I see Liverpool going. And this is really the most likely of the scenarios where, you have this kind of these overlapping fullbacks who are providing width while Salah and Wirtz go more central, off of a number 9 who will offer a lot of, chance creation, ideally. Now Nunez or someone like that, or say Jota, who's less available due to injury, maybe those guys aren't in the plans moving forward. And if so, I think someone like Isak or Osimhen comes in to supplement the likes of Diaz, the likes of Gakpo, the likes of whoever else stays for that number 9 role, in basically linking between Wirtz and Salah as these kind of attacking 10s, or I don't know how else I'd really explain it, but I see them both kind of almost like what Leverkusen did, where they had the 2 attacking mids. We know that's what Ruben Amorim's trying to do at Man United. Will it be successful at Liverpool to have this kind of offensive overload? I don't know. You be the judge. Let me know in the comment section below, and we'll find out together as the season unfolds. But Marc, Isak potentially, Osimhen, these are the types of players I want Liverpool to sign, that I've wanted Liverpool to sign for years. And it seems like a lot of that will be getting done pretty soon. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you're new, like if you enjoyed as well. I'm Sideline Sedo. Peace.